Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request. This time for Steven. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box underneath this video. Or pretty much all the videos. They'll be in the links will be underneath in the info box. But this is a film called Indian Summer from 1993, which I had heard of this film but I had never seen. It's kind of trying to be, I would say, like The Big Chill, for those who remember that film, but instead this deals with camping. Pretty good cast, which is the big positive of the film. Positive when you got Alan Arkin, who's the guy running the camp, Uncle Lou. You got a reunion of campers from back in the day, in particular in one year in the 70s. And so you have Diane Lane, you got Bill Paxton, may he rest in peace. You got Kevin Pollak, who's Arnold's police partner in End of Days. He was in A Few Good Men, he was in The Usual Suspects. Matt Craven, who I remember as the guy trying to help Tim Robbins in Jacob's Ladder. The guy that came up with the drug, the ladder. That's Matt Craven. Julie Warner, that's the lady who is sort of the girlfriend, possibly, of Chris Farley's character in Tommy Boy. Vincent Spano. Oh, I forgot her name. The girl who is Steve Martin's daughter in the Father of the Bride movies. She's in this. Sam Raimi is in the film as a maintenance guy, because the director was Mike Bender, and he was childhood friends with Sam Raimi, so he put Sam Raimi in this. Sam Raimi appears a couple times doing kind of goofy humor, like he's trying to get this boat in, to get these suitcases off, and he keeps almost falling into the water. He's not in a whole lot though, but he appears from time to time. And it's pretty much a chunk of these people just relaxing and having fun, reminiscing about their old days of camping. Sorry about that. So I don't think it was a memorable film. I don't think it was a hilarious film. But it's a sweet, bit of a sweet, warm-hearted movie with all these characters interacting with each other and remembering the fun times when they were camping. Bill Paxton arrives, and back in the day he was kicked out long ago, and the movie goes into why that happened. It was something between him and Alan Arkin's character. Kevin Pollak and his cousin Vincent Spano are in business together. Vincent Spano was with Julie Warner, but then he had a crush on this other girl, and that girl was there. Matt Craven, he's a bit of a dickhead, using this girl as almost like a toy, and then she stands up for herself. Diane Lane, her husband died in a car wreck, and then her and Bill Paxton slowly start to fall in love with each other. They're telling old camp stories. They do little camp activities, like they go swimming, they go racing on foot. They play pranks on Kevin Pollak's character, like they put your hand in water while you're sleeping, so your body will urinate while you're sleeping. So they do pranks on Kevin Pollak's character. Bill Paxton has stolen this trophy long ago because Alan Arkin, back in the day, there's a bit where, spoiler alert, there's a flashback where there's this guy who is black who's going to be a counselor, and he arrived. He was happy about it, he was excited, but Alan Arkin saw him and noticed that he was black, so he was worried about, because that was a different time period, would people get mad at this guy? Would they try to ostracize this guy? Would there be any upheaval? So he paid the guy off and told him, listen, I'm sorry, there was a mistake. Here's some money for the paycheck. Just go back home. And Bill Paxton had seen that, and he was pissed and going, well, he has this holier-than-thou attitude, but he did that. So then he stole the trophy, and because of that, he got kicked out. I do like that the film went in a different way than I thought it would. I thought, oh, it's Alan Arkin. He's still an asshole, and he's not going to admit that he's racist and blah blah blah. No, quite the opposite. Like, Uncle Lou is a very likable guy, and he says, listen, you were right, I was wrong, I wish I acted differently back then. I thought I was protecting the guy, but you know what, that was still his choice. And you know, it was a guy that he didn't do it because he was racist. He did it because he thought he was going to protect the guy, because he wasn't sure what other people would do during that time period. But he's like, you know what, still, that was wrong of me, and you know what, I should not have kicked you out either. So yeah, it went a bit of the sweeter route, and that was a bit refreshing, because I thought, okay, there's going to be tension and fighting, that's going to be some of the drama of the film, but no. And that was kind of surprising, and sorry, still trying to get over this cold. And sorry about that. But I like that it didn't go that route, and Alan Arkin, I thought, had a pretty nice understated performance. Alan Arkin, I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff. I think he was in Grudge Match with Sylvester Stallone. He was in Grosse Point Blank, where he's a psychiatrist. I'll give it a shot. No, no, don't shoot anything. Don't give it a shot. Don't shoot anything. So, you know, nice to see Alan Arkin in the movie. I will say it's one of those movies that as it goes on, you're kind of waiting to see where this movie is going, because it seems like, not that it's wandering, but it's just sort of a, like I said, just sort of characters in this one setting that, let me put it this way, it's comfort food, but it's not a gourmet. Because it's nice cast, they have a bit of a sweet warmth to it all. There's nothing really that deep or depth or hilarious moments that you don't get out of it. But, you know, it's kind of, like I said, comfort food, and you're not minding the journey. Damn it. Sorry about this, Steven. I apologize. You're not minding the journey, but if this is going to be any deep revelations in the destination, I don't think you're going to get it. So it's a film that I didn't mind for what it was. It was a time waster. Maybe because I think it also helps if you ever did go camping, and so maybe it'll remind you of the times you had while you went camping. But I've never in my life been to a summer camp. Never experienced it. Never got through that experience. It just never happened. So, to me, camping and summer camp is completely alien to me, unless seeing it in a movie. And I've seen a couple movies on it. I mean, Meatballs is probably my favorite, because of Bill Murray. Ernest Goes to Camp. Jesus. Ernest Goes to Camp. I said Meatballs. Camp Nowhere, that film with Christopher Lloyd. There's one called Heavyweights. So, I mean, there's a couple, but just not something I really can say I have a lot of nostalgia, experience, or anything in between about it. Just I never experienced it at all. So again, I'm not really in that ballpark, so I can't have that way of looking at it. I mean, I can see how these people enjoyed it through their eyes. Like they tell an old story, like Bill Paxton tells a story about how he got a first boner and he was scared of what to do, so he used masking tape to hide it, and it didn't really work out. The drama, was there. Could take it or leave it. Like I said, Matt Craven's girlfriend is tired of being used as an object, and she even goes out at one point topless. Sadly, we don't get to see it, but they get to see it, and she pretty much dumps Matt Craven's character. Vince Spano, again, loves Julie Warner, but he also loves this other girl. Ultimately, he chooses. No, I do love Julie Warner's character. There's a bit between Vincent Spano and Matt Craven where they're boxing, and Vincent Spano doesn't know how to box. He's not into boxing, but he's able to get a few very rough punches in. I mean, always nice to see Bill Paxton. And you don't get a lot of like Sam Raimi and Bill Paxton interacting, except this one moment where we don't hear what they're talking, but we see that they're talking with each other. I find that kind of funny because I still remember the story where Bill Paxton and James Cameron went to see Evil Dead 2 together. So I think that's kind of a funny bit there. I guess there's nothing funny about it, but it's just one of those things that it's a nice little story that, those two went to see the movie. Then many years later, Bill Paxton's worked with Sam Raimi in this film. Well, as Sam Raimi, he only appears like a couple times, doing a couple little goofy moments. Vince Spano doesn't want to work with Kevin Pollak anymore, and Kevin Pollock's getting a bit pissed about that. Vince Spano's like, well, I'm not a business guy. You're more the business guy. There's other stuff I want to do. Like I say, it's trying to be kind of the big chill, but with camping instead of, what they were doing. And I'm kind of surprised that there wasn't like more wall-to-wall music. I guess for some reason I thought there'd be a lot more of a soundtrack to this movie, where it'd be like a lot of nostalgic songs from back in the day, and it'd be littered with it throughout the soundtrack. I was a bit surprised that it wasn't. One little thing that I liked is when they're in their old camping grounds, and there's little drawings of like Captain America and Spider-Man in there. So nice they put a little bit of that into it. And it's just always nice to see Bill Paxton because I miss the guy. Always loved Bill Paxton from Aliens, as Hudson, Predator 2, Twister, and he died way, way too soon. It was just terrible how he died as well, and just always nice to see him in a movie. So that definitely warms my heart to see that guy. Because I miss Bill Paxton a lot. Kevin Pollak, funny guy. Always nice to see him in the film. He works well for what he needs to do. Especially a moment where he gets payback for all the pranks pulled upon him. And he's running and kind of dancing back to the camp. That's a fun little moment. Diane Lane is a good actress. She did a nice job here. Like I said, nothing hilarious or completely memorable, but if you have a fondness and a background in camping, you want a movie that kind of reminds you of the good old days of camping, and you have a bunch of characters kind of their own fondness of remembrance of camping, you give it a look. Or if the cast interests you, if the trailer interests you, you give it a look. It's at the very least a decent, warm-hearted time waster. There's a nice little sweetness to it. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. I apologize for the coughing. And we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.